Dulu. It's lights out and we are racing here in Silverstone. Jack Miller with another superb launch away on the factory Kate. He's not quite able to get through on Bezzecchi into Village, but it's Jack Miller that leads, coming through the loop for the first time.
Luca Marini up one. He's
sector 22nd to 17th, but Jorge Martin is really struggling. He's dropped right down the field like a first place.
Yeah, costly move. There were two riders there.
There is, and we pick him up through Cops for the very first time. Of course, the former turn number one, tricky one, that blind entry going. Thriller Miller, that leads. Bezzecchi and Bagnaia, top two men in the championship, sitting second and third.
As we ride on board then, looking back.
Yeah, that was clean as a well and truly wide open. Through he forces that factory Ducati then.
Badly somewhere on that first lap. He's back to 16th, as you can see, left of the screen. He's dropped behind. Fabio Quartararo is now up into the points.
Done that by Bezzecchi. That's going into Brooklands. He got good drive then, didn't he? Coming out of the loop. Bit of slipstream as well. Miller will not know all the drama that's unfolding behind him as Bagnaia and Bezzecchi jousted out.
Back at Assen, he spent too much time behind the KTM of Binder and it allowed Bagnaia to get away. Bezzecchi cannot afford a repeat.
He's got to go now. He's got to go now. Here he comes on the inside of Miller. This now for Bagnaia versus Bezzecchi. They're the top two men in this World Championship. Top two men early doors in this British Grand Prix.
From Vinales, Miller really struggling to stop that KTM into Village Corner. He's going to put himself under so much pressure from Marquez. From
lead early on of the two Ducatis directly ahead of him as they flick it left into Brooklands. This was up. Then there was a concertina effect behind him. That was on the very first lap.
Alex Marquez is through then, and so is Aleix Espargaro.
Dumped right down to 14th place.
Joan Mir has crashed out, unfortunately. That's where the yellow flag's in. Repeat to what happened at Assen last time around, where Bagnaia made that crucial break. This third lap is going to complete, and I think we're going to see.
Oh, Joan Mir, it's a very forlorn walk away from Mir. He's having a real torrid time, isn't it? Prior to Mugello. Simon, down to you.
Just a couple of observations. I saw massive instability for Bez Motogp. I love that this circuit allows overtakes in all sorts of places.
Flags as well. When we look at the Marshall's post, at the moment, it is still a race.
Marquez, Aleix Espargaro took his first ever podium here 2 years ago, and he now moves into the podium positions. Aleix Espargaro is on. Still thought he could win, didn't he?
He certainly did. He said yesterday, I feel like I've got the pace. I'm good on worn tyres as well, because tyre wear will be a factor. Time in his pocket, just needs to keep hitting his braking markers, make sure he doesn't run wide, because there is time here for
the outside there, makes contact with the front tyre of Brad Binder. Binder sent wide as well, but Martin
towards Pecco Bagnaia. There is Aleix Espargaro then, having got through into third place ahead of Alex Marquez. All for Alex Marquez. Has he got a problem with the shifter, maybe? Something has happened early on, though. What's not up for dispute?
Marquez could have come in and made a flag-to-flag change and rolled the dice to stay in this Grand Prix, but unfortunately he is out for the moment as he walks. Bezzecchi will be remaining patient in this Grand Prix, and you kind of get the feeling from what we've seen in the past, particularly at Assen.
He's spotted with his damaged motorcycle.
Yeah, as everyone saw, the right front wing was broken, but that's not what stopped him. You saw
he was watching that one. What are your thoughts?
Behind Pecco, meaning the big hole in the air. His wings don't help him stop.
And Jorge Martin is still only down in 12th place. He is making his way through the field. He's got Fabio Quartararo, Marc Marquez, and
right now he's having a pretty good fight with.
Aleix Espargaro is absolutely taking chunks of time out of Pecco Bagnaia. Look, there's the water.
Eating up the time here. He finds another 2:002. Fastest man on circuit by a country.
Brilliant podium he got 2 years ago. He was convinced he was going to win the Grand Prix here last year before that big moment, that crash, and Bezzecchi's out of the Grand Prix. Just how hard will Bagnaia fight this?
Just out your picture, there's another rider having an absolutely top-notch afternoon. Picked off Luca Marini, so Oliveira now up inside the top six. Top job by him.
I guess the big question at the Aleix Espargaro. Last time round then, another 10th taken off the lead, a 2:009 for Bagnaia, a 2:008 for Aleix.
This has been a tough period for Oliveira and for Razlan Razali, boss of Crypto Data RNF, but they could well be on course for their best trick. High-speed crash, another high-speed fall for Bez, going into turn number 15. And there will be a second. Bagnaia has actually had a very strong second split on this lap number 9, because he's taken about a 10 to bite from side to side at high speed as well. Simon, you've had another look at that Bezzecchi crash. You've got
it's actually the downforce. That downforce comes off, and then the front locks so much easier.
On Binder ahead of him, it's KTM versus Aprilia. Binder at the moment hanging on desperately for double podium for the factory Aprilia team. Aleix Espargaro second, Maverick Vinales now slots himself up into third, having finally
The brakes and the front end just cries enough. Bezzecchi
it's gone inside the top 10, ahead of Fabio Quartararo, but a disappointing day after his first corner run off for Martin.
in position at the moment, 7.5 seconds off the race lead, and you feel like Marc Marquez might well go into self-preservation mode.
Look how defensive Zarco goes on that Pramac Ducati into 16th to 5th. As Lewis mentioned, 3 Aprilias in the top 5. Oh, a big scare there, wasn't it? As he came struggling now, he was into the high 202s on that lap number 11. He's got a long way to go here, in the very same spot, I believe, with Pecco Bagnaia. Yeah, we did see the aero did get ripped off. Sector 2 on this lap 12 was under 0.3 of a second. Bagnaia was able to respond on the factory Ducati. He played the strengths of the Aprilia, and Bagnaia and Aleix Espargaro may well have some trouble coming late on here because
Vinales so quick through Beckett's Chapel. That's why he's zooming up behind Aleix Espargaro, and there is your leading fest to keep you fully informed of what's going on. It's just kicking back into life now as Jorge Martin moves up into 8th place.
Coming this British Grand Prix, and there are a few spots of rain starting to fall in the paddock. High-speed crash in the downpour conditions yesterday morning in Q2.
As you say, this leading 4 has now closed up together. Vinales and Binder have made this firmly a 4-way fight.
Well, who's going to take the dive? He's willing to stick his neck out here and go all in for the British Grand Prix in conditions that every rider hates. It's a nightmare, isn't it? He's got a really good drive, didn't he? Coming down the Wellington straight, not close enough though to attack Vinales.
4 last time around, or back in the 201s. Johann Zarco's back in the 202s as he continues to slip back down the
low 202s. So a bad day at the office beckoning for Bastianini. He's got not even better for Aprilia, already with 3 bikes in that top 5. Vinales and Aleix Espargaro, well, they are
each other off, boys, because Aprilia have got a real opportunity here. Aleix Espargaro back up the inside again into 2nd place, but they're keeping
3rd there in 4th place. Bagnaia then now with half a dozen bike lengths clear after that little melee.
On Vinales looking to become the first rider in the MotoGP era to win for 3 different manufacturers. He's just got the number 1.
That could be wet, you know, it's going to be really scary.
Oh, someone's down.
It is Simon as well. There are a lot of rain spots now. Maverick Vinales. We've lost Bastianini, we've lost Marc Marquez, but our top 4 men at the front still upright as it stands right now. And look now, fast one, isn't it?
Oh, he ran into the back of Bastianini there.
Deary me. So Marc Marquez, he's got potentially more to lose than those fighting around him. The Aprilia's at the moment just struggling to go with
0.4 seconds off this leading quartet. It's already down to 1.5. Look at him in the background.
Oliveira 0.257.6. That was 1.3 seconds faster than Vinales directly ahead of him. It was
one round they did 203s. They need to be dropping to the 210 range if the guys who change
lead group, and those spots of rain are bringing him firmly back into contention, and he won from
what kind of grip's going to meet when he gets there, but he's doing such a good job at the moment of hanging on. But Aleix Espargaro becoming an
factory KTM was the rain master, wasn't he, over the last couple of years or so. Won in Buriram last year, won in Indonesia last year.
Has so much more confidence, look, as he holds that tighter line on the inside of Binder, who's tippy-toeing through the final couple of corners.
Has come to a premature ending. He'd come from last and 22nd inside the top 10, so we have now lost it.
He has a go into Village and the loop, and you can see basically the front fairing's gone missing.
Vinales just looks like he's encountering some issues here, so with no top fairing on Fabio, blocking horns for quite some time in this British Grand Prix, but here come Oliveira and Binder. Those two know each other exceptionally well.
Have to hope that the front tyre sticks as you tip it into some of these fast corners here at Silverstone, with rain continuing.
And Aleix Espargaro, you have to doff your cap to the world champion. What a ride this has been for him. He's resisted the pressure from battle. It's been brilliant so far from him as he looks to make it back-to-back wins here in Silverstone. Simon Crayford just reporting it
through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel to get onto that hangar straight. You can see how much he closes through Woodcut. He's right on the rear tyre now.
May deliver some late heartache. Aleix Espargaro covers off a tight line through Stone. No way through for Bagnaia.
He's going to be veiled.
Espargaro wins an absolute classic Silverstone MotoGP race.
Singgung Marc Marquez, Fabio Quartararo depresi karena memulai Motogp Inggris 2023 dari posisi terakhir. Pembalap Monster Energy Yamaha itu mengaku frustrasi, namun tidak kehilangan motivasi untuk balapan. Quartararo pasrah memulai paruh musim kedua Motogp 2023 dengan buruk. Pembalap berjuluk El Diablo ini ada di tempat terakhir jelang balapan utama di sirkuit Silverstone, Inggris, pada Minggu, 6 Agustus 2023, yang akan digelar pukul 19 WIB nanti. Quartararo terpuruk di sesi kualifikasi dengan hanya mampu mencatatkan waktu terbaik 2 menit 22,931 detik. Dia tertinggal sangat jauh dari pembalap Mooni VR46, Marco Bezzecchi, yang meraih pole position dengan catatan waktu 2 menit 15,359 detik. Meski begitu, Quartararo mengaku tidak kehilangan motivasi untuk ikut balapan ini. Namun demikian, dia mengakui frustrasi dengan catatan tersebut. Bagi Quartararo, ini adalah musim pertamanya terpuruk sebab pada musim lalu, dia masih ikut dalam perburuan gelar juara dunia. Dia pun menyinggung situasi Marc Marquez, yang telah mengalami kesulitan selama beberapa tahun terakhir. Saya tidak akan mengatakan kehilangan motivasi tetapi merasa frustasi, ucap Quartararo, dikutip dari Crash, Minggu, 6 Agustus 2023. Tapi Marc Marquez tidak kehilangan kapasitasnya setelah memenangkan 8 gelar. Secara mental, itu tidak mudah karena saya merasa saya berkendara dengan baik tetapi itu tidak cukup.